Hi, I'm Blizzard Planet. Imagine this: a world made of sparkly peanut butter. I fused my love for peanut butter with my existence and created Planet Butter, the peanut butter dimension of art and philosophy. I make the peanut butter, I am the philosophy, and I write books and other stuff too. This is from my planet to yours. The I in planet is for intucentric, Planet Butter's philosophy. Leading with our intuition, prioritizing self control and self expression while holding space to connect with others. Thanks for joining our 76th episode. So cool. We're in Dubai. Intuition said Dubai. Sensations in my body were like, ooh, Dubai. Action, book a flight to Dubai. And actually, when I booked the flight, well, this was interesting. So, when I booked the flight to Dubai, the first two times that I tried, the payment didn't go through. The airline said no twice. So I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to book that flight. So then I just kind of pumped the brakes and I was like, all right, we're going to wait. But that morning I had received, my intuition was like, go Monday, go Monday. And I had been feeling into Dubai for like almost 2 months, okay? Because it kept coming up. And then I thought Dubai, and then it was Thailand took priority. It wasn't time for Dubai yet because at the time it was Ramadan. And it was always related to the peanut butter, the Dubai, for some reason. Whereas Thailand came about, it was just like, go. So I went. And then Dubai surfaced again when I was sorting some behind the scene Planet Butter business stuff. Licensing peanut butter, which I've told you guys I realized I wanted to do many episodes ago. And Instagram subscribers of Planet Butter get the behind the scenes. It's super fun. So anyway, go Monday, go Monday, go Monday. Tried to book the flight, didn't book because it didn't work. So I was like, okay. As per the Planet Butter jet ring of consciousness for cycle of decision making, everything was like, yes, Dubai, just not that flight. So I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. Did all these other things that I needed to do, priorities. Oh, today I realized, what did I say? I know it was clarified priorities plus follow through plus detachment equals on time for your life. Isn't that cool? So basically, Dubai said, come here, chickadee. And I said, okay. And then by the time I eventually booked the flight that I ended up booking was not an option the day prior that I had, or 3 days prior that I had been trying to book. And it's a way better option. It's less expensive, lands at a way better time, had shorter flight time, and allowed me to book it. So that was exciting. And I didn't realize, but I booked it for that night. I thought I booked it for the next day because it was like a midnight flight. And midnight means tomorrow, but midnight is tonight if you stay up, right? And obviously for a midnight flight, I would stay up because I have to get to the airport earlier. So that was a funny one. I didn't know I was coming to Dubai. I didn't know it was going to be that day. And then I was like, oh, I got to go pack. So I did. Now we're here. Welcome to Dubai, everybody. Still acclimating. It's been great. We're having fun. Now, what I really wanted to focus on this week's episode is, well, actually, why don't we give a little love? So clarified priorities plus follow through plus detachment equals on time for your life. Now, I think this is very valuable consideration because our priorities are equivalent to our boundaries. And when we respect our boundaries, which would be following through on our priorities, and we add it with detachment, that is what actually is alignment, which is the third core method. The first core method, boundaries. Second, confidence. The third, alignment. Now, we're reframing it with this quote, clarified priorities, or this word math equation, clarified priorities, boundaries, plus follow through, confidence, plus detachment, alignment, equals on time for your life. You see? Because alignment and detachment, I like that a lot, because being detached to outcome and knowing that the outcome, when knowing our boundaries, honoring our boundaries, therefore respecting our boundaries, same, and following through on our priorities, respecting our boundaries, same. If we follow through on our boundaries and we respect our boundaries, and we know our priorities and we respect our priorities by following through on our priorities, I'm saying the same thing in a million different ways right now, okay? And we're detached to the outcome, then the outcome is going to be the best thing possible for us. The detachment is what allows the best thing to roll through, right? It's also in the process of being eaten. And the label is in the process of being remade, because this was just like a sleek, sexy logo for the donation-based jars in Bali. Anyway, so consider that. What are your priorities? And do you keep your promises to yourself on taking care of those priorities? Let's focus on something cool. So, a while back, I said there's two types of intuition, short-term and long-term. Our short-term intuition is like when you're walking down the street, my favorite example, and your intention is to turn left at the corner. But when you get to the corner, something is like, go right. And then you do. That's your short-term intuition. Your long-term intuition is when you can kind of, you know something to be true, but it's not time yet. That's probably the simplest way to put it. And you know what's cool about that? Time is not linear. And in the spirit of that, let's read. It's all going to tie together as always. Stick with me. In Intucentric, Your Healthy Ego, created and written on Planet Butter, I open this darling, precious, magnetic, magical creature of a book with a love portal that prepares you for landing on Planet Butter. By the way, oh, my marble. Obviously, it's always falling. Go crazy. Planet Butter is wild. So, oh yeah, I was going to tell you guys, obviously, it's a mixed media chapter book. So we're wrapping up the manuscript right now. And then we're going to make the art. Planet Butter World art. So excited. Trippy peanut butter world art. Matched with a philosophy to develop and express your healthy ego. And soon you can get your hands on this baby. So you can eat the peanut butter, read the book, and have a great time. So, the Love Note portal. The speed of your life, which is cool, guys. This ties in. Wait, okay. In my head, I was like, is this way scattered? And it's actually not. And it never really is, because everything always connects. So remember, clarified priorities plus follow through plus detachment equals on time for your life. Clarified priorities are equivalent to the first core method, boundaries. Follow through is equivalent to the first core method. Second core method, confidence. And detachment is equal to the third core method of Planet Butter's philosophy, guys, of course, alignment. And that equals being on time for your life, which being on time for your life is equal to the development and expression of your healthy ego. Intucentric. So prepare for landing a love note portal. Just one of the love notes in relation to our intuition, long-term, short-term, and being on time for your life. So the speed of your life, the speed of sound, the speed of light. Humans are sound and light. Vibrations of life, patience is presence, the speed of your life. I love to open books to a random page to see the message it has for me at that moment. I invite you to do the same with this book. Tonight, I walked over to The Creative Act by Rick Rubin and I said, "Give me something good, Rick." And page 116 said to me, "If we remove time from the equation of a work's development, what we're left with is patience, not just for the development of the work, but for the development of the artist as a whole. The individual's existence, time through Planet Butter's lens. Time, presence, passions, individual growth. Planet Butter. Ourselves and time are the only two things we fundamentally have in this lifetime. The option for personal responsibility and time. In physics, time is often described in relation to gravity, change, speed, and motion. All things we cannot fully fathom, no matter how many scientific facts we create. Time has been proven to correlate with the Earth's rotation and revolution around the sun. Humans have found a way to measure these movements, and these measurements have formed the foundation for humans' concepts of seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years. Time. As per Einstein's theory of relativity, time moves slower in stronger gravitational fields, and Earth's gravitational pull varies depending on location as well as altitude. While it's minuscule variations, minuscule is not zero variation. There is variation. This means that how humans have conceptualized time, seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years, does not perfectly reflect time's truth. It reflects humans' greatest skills: learning, intellectualizing, conceptualizing. Time is a subjective experience and an abstract concept we've made logical. Likewise, the ego is a subjective experience and an abstract concept I have made logical. Ourselves and time are the only two things we fundamentally have in this lifetime. The option for personal responsibility and time. If we entirely view our individual timeline as a reflection of our boundaries, we might choose to make more decisions which leverage that time to propel us into who we want to be, where we want to be, and how we want to be. Into centric. Whew. Think about that, people. Now, with that brings me to a point I wanted to surface today, which is, I think the intuition also, that long-term and short-term version I referenced, something tells me, my intuition tells me, that the short term is perceivably our child self, while that long term is our older self. Here's why. Because time is not linear, it doesn't not make sense to just consider that our younger self exists and also did exist, like parallel universes and stuff like that, right? But we're going to ground it into present moment and make it logical and rational, as we do best on Planet Butter, so that hopefully you guys get on board. So, and I'm not a scientist, right? Or I am an alien, but I don't know. Basically, I don't know nobody knows the answers, and that's kind of the point of Planet Butter, is like, consider this. So consider that your child self exists in some realm of something in this universe, because time is not linear, and also consider that your older self also exists in some realm of this universe. Have you ever seen Interstellar? If not, watch it and then revisit my podcast. So, and Planet Butter, duh, same. So here's why I have been playing with this idea because, one, somebody mentioned to me this concept of your older self existing already, right? And then I was like, holy shit. Totally. Also, she must be so cool. So I've been playing with this with my intuition because, obviously I'm so in communication and in touch with my intuition that I started being like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, older Jay, what's up? Like, that's pretty cool. And she's told me a few things. She can't tell me everything, right? I talked about this recently too, where it's like the universe only tells us what we need to know so that we do what we need to do. Because if we know too much or too little, then we won't do the things that we need to do so that the things that need to happen can happen. So I think our intuition is our child self. I have to read from my little notes for this one. Intuition is our childhood self because it's it's aligned with immediate needs and boundaries, our needs being physical, mental, and emotional, and in our best interest. A bigger picture we don't see, know, or understand, nor do we need to. So basically, our child self is the one that's most primal, is the term coming to me. So our immediate needs, like I said, physical, mental, emotional. And then the long term, being our older self, is the one guiding us in line with whatever is in our best interest, down to micro details. Which is why, well, actually, then maybe stick with me. We're considering this together, okay? So maybe because I said short term is the child itself, but I don't know if maybe there could be 4 types. So there's the short term intuition, there's the long term intuition, then there's the child intuition, then there's the older intuition. Because then the present self, because the present moment is like obviously perpetually changing, and we experience what I call oscillation, which is wavering between who we've been and who we want to be, and then eventually we lock in to that next version of us because we spent enough time in a certain state of being despite always evolving. So it's quite complicated, which again, time is not linear. So this idea of accessing different parts of ourselves and different versions of ourselves and different ages of ourselves actually makes perfect sense without understanding it. Without understanding it, it still makes sense. We can know something to be true, believe something to be true, and it doesn't need to make sense. That's the beauty of life, quite frankly. Frankly. How did that become a word? I'm so excited to publish Blizzard's Dictionary. I've got ideas, guys. But stay tuned. We've got stuff going on. So, it's fun to think about. Just play. Let's just play. I play. So the other day I was doing something. This was before I was in Dubai, when I was still in Bali. Something happened. I do not remember what. But I was like, let's check in with older Jordan. Because that woman she's, like I said, so cool. And knows some stuff. Older Jordan said, keep laughing and watch. And I was like, of course that's what you're saying. She's so cool. And I trust her with my life. So funny. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Try it, honestly. And also, here's the beauty of it. Aside from not needing to understand it to know it to be true, in addition to that, is that we can also consider it, play around with it, and it won't have any negative impact. Because if you're doing what's in your best interest, which is clarifying your priorities, clarifying your boundaries, respecting your boundaries, following through on your priorities, then you will by default be in alignment and also, ideally, detached, trusting the outcome is in your best interest. Because It is. When you do those first two things, it is. And honestly, even just the first thing. Actually, only the first thing is a requirement for your best interest to occur. Because the other two things are a result. Respect your boundaries, clarify your boundaries, respect your boundaries. Everything else falls into place. Seriously. I just give you grounding words to help you understand that when you respect your boundaries and clarify your boundaries and prioritize, you naturally become more confident, and that sustains or reconnects you with your alignment. That trick of detachment is another little bit of a layer, but it is equal to alignment, because if you were attached, then you wouldn't be in alignment. That's a nuance to explore at a later date. Planet butter. The queen of peanut butter. The queen of nuances. The queen of asking you to just consider it. Maybe we should rename the show. Consider it. I like that. But for my planet to yours is very branded. As if it matters. It's always changing. That's why I say planet butter is a revolutionary evolution. And when people ask me what problem I'm solving, I say societal conditioning. We could play this game all day. That was another thing. I realized the other day, I said, actually, life isn't a game. Society is the game. Life is love. I'm changing the game with into-centric love. So cool. Well, consider it. Oh, I love this show. Favorite show. Best one on the internet. For sure. I'm so excited for us. All right, guys. This has been super fun. I'll see you next Thursday. From my planet to yours. Blizzard.